Growing up, we used to spend all our summer vacations in Kolkata, and I remember eating two types of Rasgullas. One was a spongy and airy and slightly chewy type, and the second one was a super soft, velvety, melt in the mouth Rosogolla that we ate at Grandma's place. So it's obviously closer to my heart. And in today's video, I'm going to share detailed recipes of how you can make both these different types of Rasgullas. Let's get started. We will start by making soft paneer or chana. For this, we will need 1 liter of full fat or whole milk, and we will need approximately 4 tablespoons of fresh lime juice or vinegar. We will dilute the lime juice or vinegar with equal amount of water and set that aside. Set a pot on medium heat and wait until the milk starts to simmer. While the milk heats up, make sure to stir and scrape the bottom of the pot from time to time so that the milk doesn't burn. I'm telling you that burnt flavor in milk cannot be covered up with any flavoring. Maybe coffee, I don't know, but try not to burn the milk. Once the milk starts to simmer, we'll turn off the heat and add the diluted lime juice or vinegar 1 tablespoon at a time. Also, we'll make sure to barely stir the milk at this point. As you keep adding lime juice, you'll see at some point it's going to form paneer. Don't stir it vigorously. What happens is that the paneer breaks up into smaller pieces and it becomes a little grainy. We want super soft paneer for our Rasgullas or Rasgullas. And this is the trick to do it. So I used approximately 4 tablespoons, and you can see that the chana and the whey have separated. Now we are going to place any absorbent cloth on a strainer and drain the paneer. The leftover whey water has a lot of protein and nutrients, so don't discard that. I have posted some recipes that use leftover whey water. You can check those out, or just make rice or roti with it and use it up. Why waste, right? Next, we want to wash the chana with 2 cups of water because we want to take out any lingering smell of lime or vinegar. We don't want vinegar lime flavored Rasgullas, do we? Next, we will bundle up the paneer and we will lightly squeeze it just a couple of times to take out excess water, but don't squeeze it too much, if not the paneer gets too dry. And next, we are going to hang it and let the rest of the water automatically drip for approximately 30 minutes. The texture of the chana is very important. It should neither be too dry nor too moist, just slightly moist. If the chana feels too moist, you can quickly wrap it up in a paper towel for a couple of minutes. I use that trick and it works. If it's too dry, your Rasgullas will be dry. Can't help that. I just divided the paneer into 2 halves for the 2 different types of Rasgullas and covered up one of them with a damp paper towel. So let's talk about how we should knead the paneer for the sponge Rasgullas first. The paneer feels perfect, just slightly moist, and to that I'm going to add 1 drop of rose flavoring. This subtle rose flavor tastes amazing in Rasgullas. Now we are going to start kneading the paneer. You could knead with either the base of your palm like that, or you can knead with your fingers. It doesn't really matter. I tried both. The main thing is that you have to knead till the paneer becomes soft and there are no grains remaining, but you should not over knead it because over kneading will make the paneer greasy, like it's going to make the ghee separate from it. We don't want that. So this is the texture we are going for. It breaks easily and it's soft and not grainy anymore. It takes approximately 4 to 5 minutes to knead the paneer. Now I'm dividing this into 6 different pieces for 6 different Rasgullas. Keep in mind that this amount of paneer is from approximately half a liter of milk because we had divided the paneer into 2 for the 2 different Rasgullas. When you make the paneer balls, make sure that they are smooth and crack-free as much as you can. Cover it with a damp paper towel, and now let's work on the paneer for the soft rasgullas. Just like we did before, also for these rasgullas, we want to add just a drop of rose essence. In addition, we'll add half a teaspoon of white granulated sugar, half a teaspoon of all-purpose flour or maida, and half a teaspoon of semolina or suji. And this is the main difference between the two types of rasgullas. The rest of the steps of how to cook it in the sugar syrup is all the same. So I kneaded the chana just like how we did it before. There. And again, I'm going to divide it into 6 pieces for 6 different rasgullas. I should have used 2 liters of milk. 6 rasgullas is going to be eaten up in no time. That's too bad. And our next step is to make the sugar syrup. We need half a cup or 100 grams of white granulated sugar, to which we are going to add 2.5 cups of water. It's basically a 1:5 sugar to water ratio. To this, we'll add 2 green cardamom pods and we'll bring the sugar solution up to a boil. Instead of adding rose essence to the paneer, you can also add a couple of drops to the sugar solution instead. Up to you. Sometimes the dirt from the sugar collects as some foam, so take that out with a spoon. If the sugar is very dirty, you can add a splash of milk and clarify it. Next, I've taken half a teaspoon of maida or all-purpose flour, to which I added 1 tablespoon of water and made a slurry. We add this slurry into the sugar solution to make it nice and foamy. The temperature of the pot should be on high heat, and when the sugar solution is vigorously boiling, put in the rasgulla balls and cover it up with a lid. Very soon you're going to see that there is going to be a lot of foam formation because of that slurry that we added. See, at this point, just tilt the lid a little bit so we don't have a sugar syrup waterfall on your counter. But we want to make sure that the rasgullas always cook in foam. And just like that, we want to cook them on high heat in foam for the first 10 minutes. Do not open the lid completely. The foam that covers the rasgulla makes sure that it is cooked evenly from all sides and they turn out to be nice and round and soft. It's been 10 minutes, so let's take a peek. See how beautifully puffed up they are? At this point, you want to reduce the heat to medium-high and cook for 15 minutes. Every 5 minutes, we'll open the lid and gently flip the rasgullas. They've puffed up even more. Oh my goodness, how good that looks! Now I'm adding a couple of tablespoons of boiling hot water so that my sugar syrup thins out again. After all this boiling, the sugar syrup gets a little thick, and if it gets thick, your rasgullas will turn dense. So make sure from time to time, add a little bit hot water so that the sugar solution is always of watery consistency. If I would have used a bigger pot, I probably would not have had to babysit that lid so much to make sure the foam doesn't come out and everything. So use a bigger pot. But I guess for making rasgullas, any amount of effort is worth it. And we are done. Turn off the heat and let it cool off completely. That's how the spongy rasgullas look, and that's how the soft rasgullas look. We are going to transfer them to another bowl, and we are going to try not to eat them for 2 hours at least, because believe me, it's going to get better with time. What's very important is to make sure that the sugar syrup is of watery, thin consistency. If not, you can add some room temperature water in to thin it out. Let's take a look at what we just made. Spongy ones, soft ones. Oh my goodness. Okay, let me show you in detail. You can see that the spongy ones have a lot of little cracks and air pockets, and they maintain their shape even when they are out of the sugar syrup. They are that spongy. You will love it. And now my favorite ones, the soft Rasgullas, have a beautiful velvety and glossy texture and they melt in your mouth. It is so difficult for me to edit these videos because obviously the Rasgullas are all eaten and now I want to eat more. Yum. I can't wait for you to try these. Most important part, after 24 hours at room temperature, the spongy Rasgullas stay exactly the same, nice and spongy. And this is after refrigerating it for 24 hours. It is still the same texture. And the same for the soft ones. At room temperature or in the refrigerator, the texture remains the same. And that surely means that this recipe is really good. So the most important difference between the two Rasgullas is basically that the soft ones have some additional things that's added to the paneer. Other than that, the common tips that we have to follow is that firstly, the paneer has to be super soft. Secondly, the paneer should not be too moist or too dry. Thirdly, the Rasgullas should cook in foam. And lastly, make sure to keep adding some hot water to the sugar syrup so it remains as a watery consistency. Especially when the Rasgullas are done cooking, you can add a little bit water to the sugar syrup so it turns nice and thin. That's it. You follow these and you are going to end up with the best Rasgullas of your life. You would not have to go to a store, I promise. So that is all for today, my dear friends. I hope you enjoyed this video. Do subscribe to my channel because I post exciting recipes like this every week. And press the bell icon because the next recipe should come straight to you, right? If you're on any of these different social media sites, I would be waiting to say hello. And if you would like written recipes, I have a blog. You can visit that. All the links are in the description. Bye-bye.